By now, you've likely heard of the movie CODA, which won Best Picture this year at the 94th Annual Academy Awards. It's a beautiful coming-of-age story which follows the life of Ruby Rossi, who is herself a CODA, or child of deaf adults. The movie breaks new ground with its intimate and authentic portrayal of deaf culture and family life. Around 11 million Americans are hard of hearing, and around 1 million are functionally deaf, according to recent census data. So for many Americans, CODA represents their first immersion into the world of the deaf. It certainly was for me. We had the privilege of hosting Troy Kotsur in our studio, who played Frank Rossi, the dad in the film, and delivered a truly Oscar-winning performance. I was in tears the entire second half of the movie.
The Oscar goes to Troy Kotsur.
Hi, I'm Troy Kotsur. I'm an actor. I'm also a father. And I'm the first deaf male at the 94th Academy Awards 2022 to have won Best Supporting Actor in the film CODA.
In his Oscar acceptance speech, Troy celebrated his father, who first learned sign language and then had to relearn how to communicate with his son after a terrible car accident left him paralyzed from the neck down.
Dad, you are my hero.
The second I saw Troy's speech, I knew, or should I say, I hoped we could get him here on Dad Saves America. Thankfully, the literal stars aligned, and here we are. Troy learned so much from his dad, giving him amazing insights into how hearing parents can best raise a deaf child. On the surface, it would seem like an incredible challenge.
That thing. So I need you to speak slower, look at me when you talk, and be patient.
Absolutely. Sure, why not?
But as Troy's life story proves, with the right mindset and resources, any parent can help their deaf or hard of hearing kids be set up for a full and flourishing life. And that's a lesson that every parent can benefit from learning. All right, that's enough backstory. Here's the top 5 things I learned about raising a deaf child from Oscar winner Troy Kotsur. Number 5, your deaf child isn't broken. This is a difficult realization for many parents whose children are born or become deaf. I know it would be very hard for me as a dad at first. After all, we all hope that our kids will be born healthy with full use of all their faculties. And our first impulse when that isn't the case is to medically intervene.
Dads typically like fixing things. But regarding your deaf child, to let you know, your deaf kid is not broken. Your deaf child is fine. We have so many ways to learn how to communicate. ASL, if you are considering a cochlear implant as an option, please don't ignore sign language. Give your child an opportunity to grow and develop their own identity in whatever way they choose. To let you know, ASL and deaf culture are beautiful. I consider them a gift. Your deaf child is a gift. You're going on an amazing journey that will change your perspectives and show you a different world. That's what my father told me. After he learned that I was born deaf, when I grew up, it changed my dad's life. He fell in love with deaf culture. It was truly amazing. This is a gift.
This is an important mindset for every parent because there's no such thing as a perfect kid. All of our kids have unique challenges and capabilities, and our job is to help them make the most of what God gave them, to help them unleash their own potential. Number 4, create a deaf-friendly environment in the home. There's a lot of simple things we take for granted being able to hear, but there's also more clever ways to accommodate deaf family members than ever before.
It's extremely important to set up a deaf-friendly environment in your home. For example, have closed captioning on your television. Have a light flashing at the doorbell. Have a vibrating and flashing alarm clock. Have a flashing fire alarm. And that is friendly for deaf children, and that can save their lives in many cases. You can also set up a video phone so that you can chat and communicate with your child and so that your child can keep in touch with their friends.
If you'd like more resources for creating a deaf-friendly environment, we've put some links in the description below, courtesy of our friends at the Texas School for the Deaf. Number 3, get a hearing dog.
My name is Doug. I have just met you, and I love you.
Pets are great for kids for a whole host of reasons. Early exposure to cats and dogs has been shown to reduce allergies by as much as 77% compared to kids without pets. They teach our kids responsibility, empathy, and unconditional love. And for the deaf and hard of hearing, adopting a pet is also adopting a second set of ears.
And you might want to consider training a dog. And the dog is playful, but barking can also inform someone that someone's knocking at the door. You can borrow the dog's ears. And when the dog reacts, you'll know that something's going on. When you have friendly access, it'll make your deaf child feel safe, equally to what hearing people mention. And you can play with the dog too. Play fetch.
Number 2, get your child involved in extracurriculars. A big theme on this channel is overcoming fear and the overprotective parenting that comes with it. Allowing your kids to get out there in the world and have experiences that challenge them is essential for their development and independence. And this is especially true for the deaf and hard of hearing.
It's important to be involved in your child's life, whether it's athletics, the arts, outdoor activities, backpacking, camping, water skiing, all of the above. Like baseball, football, bowling, or any of these activities. And that includes the arts and theater and film. Just like hearing kids are able to do extracurricular activities, so can deaf kids. Don't be afraid to encourage them. It's important that you allow them to grow their talent. Deaf kids can do anything. They just communicate in sign language, a different language, that's all.
What do you want to be when you grow up, Zeke?
A pro basketball player.
When I was growing up, my father used to take me to play baseball, to play football, basketball. I played soccer, I went fishing, I went water skiing. My dad taught me how to play golf ever since I was 12 years old. And today, I still love playing golf. And the reason why is because my dad was so involved in my life and encouraged me. And you know, I'm pretty good at golf. I'm a pretty good golfer. I'm not at pro level though.
Before I get to the number 1 thing I learned from Troy, I hope you'll push those YouTube buttons to like and subscribe. Help us teach the YouTube algorithm. Okay, number 1, ASL saves lives. Throughout my time with Troy, this was by far his biggest message. If you have a deaf or hard of hearing child, don't hesitate to teach them sign language as early as possible, even if they are eligible for medical interventions like cochlear implants that might restore some degree of hearing.
It's extremely important to learn American Sign Language, or ASL for short, if you have a deaf child, because communication is vital. And it's so important that deaf children between the ages of 0 and 5 have language acquisition just like their hearing peers are able to learn how to speak and acquire language. There's been a long history of language deprivation for deaf children, so with ASL, for communication, it prepares these deaf kids before they enter kindergarten so they can be confident and communicate and have a language.
We take for granted our hearing and how foundational it is, not just for learning how to speak, but for learning how to read and write as well. This was a big aha moment for me during my conversation with Troy. If you can't hear words being spoken, how can you learn the meaning of these visual symbols, letters, words, sentences, written down on paper?
ASL helped me with English, reading, writing, and math, and all of the above, just like English helps hearing children to learn these subjects. This is extremely important. ASL saved my life, period.
Another big takeaway from my time with Troy was how uniquely expressive ASL is as a language. Even though it's called sign language, I don't think I ever thought about it quite the same way I think about Spanish or Italian or Japanese. Here's another surprising fact. There's actually more than 300 distinct sign languages all around the world. Pretty amazing. Troy was a fantastic guest with many remarkable insights about fatherhood. I hope you learned something valuable about how to be a supportive and involved parent from Troy. I know I did. And be sure to check out CODA, available on Apple TV+. And let me know if you wept like a baby like I did in the comments below. Thank you for sticking around. Be sure to check out our full conversation with Troy Kotsur, where we talked much more about Troy's dad and the incredible impact he had on his life. All of our videos are closed captioned, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And if you want to help us build the most optimistic community of dads on the internet, head over to dadssavesamerica.com and donate so we can keep producing videos like these. We're a non-profit studio dedicated to unleashing the heroic spirit of dad.